Thank everybody for coming today, this afternoon. This is obviously not a pleasant discussion for us all to have, but we think it's very important as an agency with the kind of public trust and the public institution that we are as the Highway Patrol, that the public has confidence in us knowing that we police our own. With that today, coming forward to visit with you and give you a few details about the allegations that have been made against one of our members. This particular matter sickens us as an agency. I'll say that right up front. I know that the members of our agency as a whole, across from one end of the state to the other, these kind of things really do hit them to the core. As one of the state's most trusted public institutions, we have to be as open and be as transparent as possible, so that's why we're here talking today. In this particular case, we have a call that our agency received on the 23rd of July, and what I'm going to talk to you about today is the things that evolved from that phone call that we received on the 23rd. I'm going to confirm to you that this morning that OHP troopers placed Eric Roberts into custody, and they transported him to Sapulpa, to the Creek County Jail. Charges are being presented to the District Attorney's Office for his review. The allegations, the strongest allegation of which is second-degree rape, that is within those allegations. When we talk about the case, our agency received one initial phone call on this from a victim claiming that she was sexually assaulted on a traffic stop. We take all complaints serious. It doesn't matter who they come from, or what their walk of lives are, or what their background is. We investigate them all to the fullest. We got the first phone call on this on July 23rd, late afternoon. We took that call and processed it, and then the following day, our investigators believed that they had credible evidence, believed that they had credible information, and they retrieved evidence from a location where we believe that possible assault may have occurred at that location. And then later that evening, on the 24th, on the evening of the 24th of July, our investigators called the officer to the Troop B headquarters in Tulsa without notice, without what the reason was he was being called there. He arrived with his patrol unit, and at that point in time, our investigators took his vehicle into custody to be processed for evidence, and he was placed off. We take it so seriously that information come to us late that evening that we felt like we had credible information, and this investigation needed to be investigated to its fullest. That afternoon, after hours, I got the call from our investigator. I briefed Commissioner Thompson, and after hours, we prepared the documents. I went to his residence before midnight. He signed the suspension notice, and Eric Roberts was placed off before midnight that evening. His gun, his badge, his commission card was all retrieved that afternoon. When we get into the details of this case, what we do find, without going into extreme details on particulars, because again, everything here is alleged. Everybody gets their day in court, and Eric Roberts will also get his day in court. Our investigators felt like that as they went back and they looked at this case, they looked at the particular incident in which the caller called in, and then in the meantime, they discovered two other potential victims, alleged victims. They also discovered three other traffic stops where at least there's question about, but apparently no assault of any kind have occurred. In the course of this particular investigation, we went back and have interviewed the three individuals that were assaulted. We have numerous witnesses, and we also have interviewed some other stops that occurred. In all these stops, Trooper Roberts turned off his camera and his mic during the course of the traffic stop. which was something of a very serious concern to us. Obviously, we feel like there's credible evidence of this as we've we've placed charges forward for review to the District Attorney's Office this morning. We take this matter extremely serious, and we believe that we do police our own very well here within the agency. We will be moving forward on a termination process as far as moving to terminate his employment. As per merit rule, right now he is still on suspension with pay until we go through the administrative process that it takes to do those things. We have the initial phone calls that come in. We have to get a hold of the leads, process evidence. Evidence has to be sent to the crime lab. We didn't get our final evidence back until I believe it was late on Friday. So, and then they've got the report to put together and other things and to take forward to the attorney's office. And I think if you actually add it up, it's like 54 days. And really, in a matter like this, that's pretty fast, especially when all you've got is a phone call that this come in with. All these occurred in Creek County, all basically in the Sapulpa area. State Highway 95, I-44, right basically in that general vicinity. And they were all during the daytime, during a normal work duty. When our officers get a stop, the camera should be engaged and should be on during the course of the stop. And in this particular case, it was not.
Time for just a couple more questions.
They have the ability to cut those off at any time?
They do have the ability to manually shut them off, yes, with mic and so on. We, as officers, come into contact normally with people when they're at their most vulnerable. When we are when they're in a situation that they don't have an opportunity sometimes for us to have an opportunity to see what kind of credibility they have or what their character may be. But just because that someone is in that situation does not mean that what they have to say might not be true, and that's why we investigate them all. Obviously, we've gone forward with what we consider our credible charges, and we presented it to the district attorney for him to review. Short of that, at this point in time, I don't want to go into much detail on the actual particulars. In all fairness to a fair trial for Roberts. Troopers went out to arrest him today. The information come in. We had the particular information together. We felt it was important that we went ahead and took him into custody today. And I mean, so often the public, I don't think, realizes that we do take these things extremely seriously. This is not just a small deal. If you look at this particular matter, turns out to be true, which once it's been viewed, and if the DA files the charges and if he's convicted, it represents the ultimate betrayal of a man's oath to his state, to his agency, to his family, and his oath to support and defend and protect the public. In that matter, he was arrested this morning, and really that's all I've got to say about that. So with that, thank you. That's all we have for now.